talented stand-up comedian. He's later.
Oh,
but
you.
I'll start. I know what you guys thought the second I got up here. You said, wow, that kid doesn't know how to dress at all. And you're partially right. I'm wearing golf shoes. I have a woman's belt on. It's all good. But I'm not blind. I'm handicapped in a worse way. I am fashionably handicapped. And that's because I refuse to shop at department stores. And half of you are probably like, good for him. Department stores drive wages down and so on and so forth. My logic is way worse than that, which is that department stores hate men. If you've ever been a guy, like some of us have, then when you walk into a department store, you enter, and you know, there's the bathroom-sized men's section that has 3 shelves out of the 47 trillion that the department store has. You've got, you know, men's, and then electronics is over here, and you've got home and garden over here. And then right here, in the middle of the store, running through everything, you have the iron curtain of the intimate section. There is no way to be a guy in a department store and not have to approach that. And the thing is, intimates, like every other type of clothing, they like fold it up, or like they put it in a box or something, you don't have to look at all of them. Every intimate has its own hanger. Like, every intimate is like specially packaged, you just have to, they're all out there. It is just like wall-to-wall bras. You're blinded by them. And now a lot of the women here are like, oh, this guy's afraid of underwear. Wow, like, whatever. Okay, I don't need that. Like, just scared of some underwear? No, I'm not. I'm scared of women in the intimate section. Because when you're a guy and you're like about to go through that, I don't know, that no man's land kind of place, you know? You're like, okay, blinders on. Just gonna walk through, nothing's gonna catch my attention. You get like 3/4 of the way in, and then boom, there's a bra right here that you're like, whoa. And as soon as you make that face in a bra, like, the woman who sees you, and there will be one, is thinking that you're looking at it going like, oh yeah, I'd love to rip that off of someone, oil her up, and take her back to my place, if you know what I mean. But what you're actually thinking is like, where does that go? What is that hook for? Where does it, ooh. And then you pull out a strap and it turns into a crane. I don't even know what the practicality of that is, so you know. You're enjoying wasting your time staring at this bra, confused, and then you look up and there's that woman staring at you like you're a combination of a rapist and an axe murderer because you've seen a bra. And if it's a girl or a lady that you might find here, you know, 20s, 30s, 40s, going to a bar, that will be fine, but it never is. It's always this old woman, and she's hunched over, and she's glaring at you, and she's 75, and she's holding onto a bra, and this bra is like a t-shirt in every way. It covers everything, and we are all really thankful for that. Everyone's delighted. This is a woman who, even when she's getting naked, doesn't really want to show it. So she sees you, and she's just judging you, and what are you supposed to say? Like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't know, it's for a friend. And then you look up at the section in the intimate section, the subsection of intimates that you've been looking at, and it's maternity lingerie. A section which I have to say, I'm pretty sure it exists exclusively for embarrassing purposes. Because like there's no woman on the planet who's buying maternity bras who's like, I don't know, maybe I just don't have sex enough. I had that kid, but I don't know. It's been downhill from there. And like if you're buying a lacy bra and it's got like, you know, one of those flaps you can breastfeed, like, think about the complexes your kid is gonna have. Every time he looks at you, he's like, I don't know, doc, you know, talking to a psychologist when he's 20 about this, and he's like, I don't know. Every time I see my mom, I just think about blue lace and my dad. It's weird. It's awful. And it's hard to explain that to the 75-year-old woman. You don't really know what to say. And she's just judging you. And this is a big issue because she's been in an embarrassing situation like this before. You know, who among us hasn't run into the 75-year-old woman in the intimate section when you're just going to go get a pair of jeans? We've all been there. But like, we as a society, I don't know, we have like people just, everyone's had awkward moments, but we never accept them when someone else is having one. We're always like, oh, that guy. And, you know, it's kind of weird. It's like, you know, you're walking through somewhere and everyone's doing those, like, crazy eyes, like, looking for the freak in the crowd. It's like we're playing Clue constantly. You know, or Guess Who. We're like, it's gonna be him. I know it. It's that guy. He's got the hair. I can tell. It's terrible. It's terrible. And it makes sense sometimes, because there are some things that are very hard to explain. I once went on a camping trip with an ex-girlfriend. She was a girlfriend at the time. She became ex later on. It's not that bad a weekend. But before we left, we realized that we'd forgotten some necessities. So we stopped in at a CVS, and we picked up what we needed. And I went in and I got it. Put it on the cash register. Matches, waterproof camera, condoms. That's tough. When you're looking at that cashier and he's like, "What's all this for?" And you're like, "Oh yeah, I'm just going camping with my girlfriend." That helps nothing. Now the cashier's like, "Oh yeah, I'm just going to spend a few days away from civilization with a woman, some matches, condoms, and a waterproof camera. Nothing to worry about. It's all kosher here." It's terrible how much we judge people. Like, it probably is the worst though in airports. Because in airports, we're all positive now that everyone else is a terrorist. Everyone. It's like playing Minesweeper on easy mode. You're just like, red flag, that's a bomb. Unattended luggage. It's at least got some guns in it. Like, honestly, at this point, if you can get a gun past, like, the security there, congratulations, you need a girlfriend. Like, you have a lot of time on your hands, buddy. Jeez. And it's like, it's bad in the airport when we're all, like, practically talking into our watches to convince people that we're not a terrorist. Like, "Yeah, we got a birdie over here." But when you get on the airplane, and then you're stuck with all of them, that's when it gets really freaky. Because then you're sitting in your chair, knowing that death is coming. And you look to the guy next to you. "Oh my God, he's gonna kill me, he's gonna kill me. Look at this guy." And he's in his chair. He goes, "Oh God, okay." He starts praying and you're like, "Oh God, a religious extremist." And it's just bad all around because the only thing you've seen of each other at this point is both of you going, and no one feels better because of that face and noise. I've never had that work out. It is awkward. We all need to become a little more childlike, a little more trusting. And in order to complete that objective, I recently took some friends of mine to Chuck E. Cheese. Because, only like people below 10 go there, so it was like, "Oh yeah, alright, we're gonna pretend that we're children again, this is so cool, it's just whatever." Yeah, it was awkward. I felt like I was getting gypped because, I went to Chuck E. Cheese, and you all know, you were all children once, that you could give them your report card, and they would give you tickets back if you got good grades. So I gave them my college transcript while some second grader was handing a report card in. And I was like, "Yeah, I worked really hard for that A, huh? What did you do, draw an Indian? See that? Calculus, kid." What is this, an addition? Get out of here. I'll take his tickets. Two for me. And that doesn't go over well. But the night got a lot better when we found out that Chuck E. Cheese serves alcohol. Better for us, worse for everyone else in Chuck E. Cheese. Because that's when you start smack-talking children who are half your size. You're like, "Yeah, you think you can play air hockey? Maybe if you can see the table, kid. Get out of here. Go back to your parents." Weak. And it gets more awkward. You sit at the top of the slide, and you're too big so no one can get around you in those little tubes. So you're just spreading some wisdom. You're like, "You said you're 7 years old? You said you're 7? I remember 7. It's all downhill, kid. It's all down from here, Live it up. This is your day, okay? This is all you." I mean, oh, yeah. Sorry. Life's like a slide, and you're at the top of it now, and you're going to go down it, and you're going to have fun, but then at the end of it, you're going to be like, "Why am I not on the top of the slide?" And it's because you went down the slide. You can go, I'm done. And you freak out everyone at Chuck E. Cheese. It's a good time. I was freaked out more recently though because my roommate and I are close, and we do a lot of pillow talk kind of thing. Even though, we're both obviously tough masculine guys, and we would never do things like talk about our emotions. But one night, my roommate Chris was talking to me and he's like, "Hey Steven?" That's Chris. And I was like, "Yeah, Chris?" He was like, "Listen, can I tell you about a weird sexual fantasy of mine?" And I was like, "Sure, Chris. Sure, go for it." "I've always kind of wanted to have sex with a girl named Christina, so I can yell my name during sex, and she'll think I'm talking about her." Is that weird? No! No! You're fine. Like, that's not his weirdest sexual fantasy. He also really wants to have sex with the girl, and then lay back after his minute of sex, and have the girl do what every woman does, and just say, "What are you thinking about?" And I'll get back to that question, because it's a weird question. But, what are you thinking about? He wants to say, "Superheroes." Which is a pretty good response, because your other options are like, I don't know, eating. I'm hungry. How about you? When she's hoping that you'll be like, I'm thinking about how this is the most meaningful moment of my entire life. And I've never connected with someone else this way. It's awkward. It's always a bad time. But I'm just going to leave you with the worst possible sexual experience any person can have, which is something that my roommate and I call the happy dilemma.
Yes.
And we're both, suave, debonair kind of guys going out, picking up women left and right. And we're both worried about the day when we both try to bring a girl home at the same time. Because somebody's going to talk to me and be like, "Steven, you can take me back to your place?" And I'll be like, "Sure, babe." I'll text my roommate, "Hey, Chris, I'm going to bring a girl back, so, clear out, okay?" And then Chris is on the other end of the text, and he sends one back. He's like, "Yeah, actually, I'm bringing one back, so maybe you should go somewhere else, try to go to her place." And then I'll text back and be like, "No, that's hilarious. No, just be gone by the time we get there, because I'm bringing a girl back, so you should leave." But basically what this devolves into is sex chicken, because neither one of us is going to back down, so it's just going to end up in our living room being like, "Oh, you guys still here?" Alright. Well, we're going into the bedroom, so have a good one, you two. And they'll be like, "We're going in there too." And this is when Chris and I have the night of our lives, and two women are ruined forever in a terrible way. Because Chris and I have planned for this. I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Inception.